Previously on Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker.
Perhaps you found meaning in living this way. I cannot deny you found strength. Yet if you only pursue your hedonistic pleasures and pay no heed to the plight of others, then no one will give you the time of day. You will never get what you want, not even the battle you pine for so dearly. You'll be alone for an eternity, and you'll deserve every agonizing second of it.
Dang, I was not expecting this, series of events. Especially Xeno's coming in and everyone just, telling him, hey, your crazy ideal battle is not what we need right now. The world's ending. So it's Heidelin's commitment that in the events Zodiac should perish, the Laperids were to deliver the people of Atheres from harm. Though that be the limit of their duties, they possess knowledge unparalleled of the great expense of and the means of its traversal. Should they be persuaded to assist in our efforts to reach Meteon, we would do well to heed their counsel. Alright. At first I was sure what to make of Hermes and his motives, but it's like we discussed at the Great Work. When faced with the harsh realities of life, some seek the release of death, others grow defiant, they fight. Either way, it is our right to choose. You're not wrong there, Stinium. Well, that was a much quicker response than I was expecting. Nice to know our efforts on the Magna Glacies didn't go unnoticed. Yeah, you know it. Father has granted us the opportunity we've been waiting for, though we know not what information, if any, they intend to reveal. There's only one way to find out, to the rostra. I hope you don't mind me staying behind while you attend your big meeting. The rostra reminds me a bit too much of the supremely scary tribunal in Ishgard. You'll forgive me if I keep my distance. Oh yeah, I remember that. It's okay. After you left for Garlemald, I went to Labyrinthos and tried to reach Heidelin using the Elpis flowers. Alas, my attempts were in vain. I can only assume that she spent a vast amount of her power in the confrontation with Fandaniel and is presently unable to communicate. Indeed, as her presence left my body, I could feel how faint it had grown. Interesting. Okay. Master Matoya has suspected for some time that the Forum has been constructing a new facility for the purpose of surveying the Ethereal Sea. Of course, as the custodian of the Anti-Tower, which would presumably be rendered obsolete as a result, she has a few things to say about that. Nothing that should be repeated in polite company, you understand? Oh, okay. After sending Graha and Estinian back to Garlemald, I stayed in Locus Almenos for a time. Being an imperial province, it was already in turmoil before the onset of the final days. You won't believe the difficulties we had overseeing the evacuation of the villages we visited. I have faith that the detachment we left behind will continue our work and shepherd the people to safety. To what safety can be found in a world coming to an end? Yeah. To the Crystal Tower of the First is capable of such feats as sending one's soul into the distant past. The events you witness and help shape may yet hold the key to forestalling the final days. I'm reminded of dear friends in a future I'm unmade, whose selfless efforts saw the 8th Umbral calamity averted. And this timeline at least, too much has been sacrificed for us to abandon Atheres now. Yeah, that's right. Alright, I think it's about time we go ahead and find out what the Forum has for us. So let's do this. The Forum is in session, and as such, the Rostra is closed to visitors. I'm not a visitor, I'm here for Forum duty. A Scion of the 7th Dawn? Very well, you may wait in the corridor. Of course, entry will only be permitted on the condition you leave your armaments at the door. Least you forget, This sacred institution holds rational discourse in the highest. The implements of war are expressly forbidden. Oh, that's understandable. As I enter inside the building with my weapons, but whatever, I guess. Okay, I was like, I thought this was getting ready to go underway. Where's everybody at? It's like a ballroom that's left open only for me. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's get this going. I'm ready. Such a good song. Okay, there's everybody. Let's just hope that good tiding comes out of this.
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
That's true.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter. On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glaciers. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
Then let us begin. First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety.
Okay.
Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after.
Interesting.
Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies.
Oh.
Radzat-Han was foremost among these. But since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
Right. I thought they weren't gonna account for anybody but themselves.
As many as we can.
Makes sense.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Makes sense.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem? We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on two conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
Nice proposal, Alphinaud.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
Right.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
We got a good reason.
Delightful as always, Master Alphinaud. Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
He's always got our back.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote.
There we go, that helps.
All in favor of agreeing to the Scions' terms?
That looks like a lot.
71 in favor, 28 against.
Hey.
The ayes have it.
Look how the situation just turned around for us.
Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
True.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Nice. I have a feeling that Fortuno really does care for his kids, but at the same time, he just likes to take charge in his own kind of way. Oh gosh. Alright, well, fluff dialogue time. Starting left to right again. My affinity for espionage may have earned me the title of Archon, but I was completely unaware of the Forum's plans. There may have been clues here and there, had I been of a mind to look for them, but contemplating that possibility only serves to further wound my pride. Not that anyone could have realistically surmised that their brilliant stratagem was to build a giant ship, fly to the moon, a still larger vessel en route, and use that to travel to another star. Even now, the whole idea seems positively absurd when spoken aloud. Yeah, that's true. Of late, I have seen no sign of the Laporites. This being their first opportunity to experience the wonders of Charlian, the potential for misadventure is nigh infinite. Oh, okay, you're worried about those. Perhaps if Midgar Somar were still alive, in the traditional sense, that is, he could have offered to help the vessel attend to the necessary speeds. And again, there's no guarantee his contribution would make enough of a difference to matter. Who knows? The further we pursue the mysteries of the universe, the more I struggle to comprehend the fruitacious nature of time itself. We measure and quantify it based on observations of celestial bodies, such as the sun and moon. But from your account, it is unclear whether the ancients viewed time in a similar manner. I mentioned this before while Vana knew the final days would reoccur at a definite point in the future. She presumably had no way of knowing exactly when. Even so, the completion of the Forum's preparations to escape to the moon align so closely with the advent of the final days is surely no coincidence. Yeah, they know something. I'm a little vexed that we've yet to learn of the Forum's replacement for the Anti-Tower, though. I expected that in time they'll share that too with us, and with Masmatoya if they've any sense. Yeah. Phew. I'll admit, bringing up the issues of the Forum incomplete arc was more than a little daunting. They were, to their credit, quite open about the current state of affairs. What was even more surprising, though, was when they took Alphino up on his offer. Yeah, I agree. While I very much take issue with the Forum's approach to selecting whom to save and when, they're not wrong for wanting to minimize potential conflicts. Fortunately, if this plan of ours actually works, the Exodus itself will become entirely unnecessary. Let's see. Rest assured, I have every intention of honoring the Forum's decision. Okay, man. Let's see. Who should I give this to? Let's give it to Sage. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking of my feet for the most part. But since we require both a means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Meteon, in the spur of the moment, I saw involving ourselves with the cooperation of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the ether burner. I like to think it as not of a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how an ether burner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Dun, 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 dun. As father seems so eager to help, maybe we can have him educate us about the ether burner. Yep. Going underground. Fortuno's ability to maintain a stiff upper lip is being sorely tested. As instructed, I shall take you to the ether burner. Meet me outside the Archean. I trust you can make your own way there. Yep, no worries. I'm guessing we're going back to Labyrinthos? So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? I knew it might be there. I had a feeling that might have the Exodus all the way down there. It makes sense. Oh my gosh, they really want me to do a lot of fluff dialogue. Okay, Stinian. I don't understand the appeal of reshaping it to look like a world above. Make your peace with what it is, or go outside if that's what you prefer. Oh, okay. That we have been granted permission to enter the lower levels is proof of our increased standing. With that, they have been willing to confine in us sooner. Yeah, it would have been easier. It has been many moons since I last visited Labyrinthos. As vast as the archives were back then, they've only continued to grow in the days since. That's insane to think about. Among the many and varied documents sent to the moon, I did chance upon several inventories made in the Archean. Perhaps the Forum believed such records would provide insight into the intricacies of celestial duties. Regardless of the labyrinths, did not consider them worthy of more than a cursory glance. Oh, okay. Some would surely object the Forum allowing foreign elements to have the run of their secret facilities. We should count ourselves lucky. Maybe. Where once we were refused entry, we are now welcome as guests. It seems so long ago we first set foot here. Yeah, it did. Do they intend to carry everything in the Archean to the moon? They said they started loading scientific records and biological samples, but do they really need all of it? Maybe. Our destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum, in its wisdom, has granted you access to the Archean lift. Step inside and have Ophiline take you to the medial circuit. Alright, well, let's go. Alright, we can finally use the lift. I've been wanting to use this for a long time. You wish to use the lift, yes? Yes. Oh my gosh, this lullaby theme. I have sent your associates ahead to Lockiston Alpha on the other side of the Mural Ergonomics. Actually, there is something I have been meaning to... No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. Fortuno, what you got on your mind that you want to talk to me about? Well, we know what that means. I can actually get access to ether currents now. See, there's still so much more of this area that I can't believe we have not even adventured for real. It really reminds me a lot of, what's the name of the Yulmore? Are they inside there? Can we go in there? I'm guessing we could probably go in here. Yeah, based off the map, it looks like we can go in. Hope you don't mind if I ride my horse in here. Don't worry, it's okay. Wow, this place is actually pretty huge. And interesting looking, too. Oh gosh. They're all here again. The fluff dialogue just keeps increasing. Oh, there you are. Having words with Master Fortuno by any chance? Knowing the Forum, even the people working down here are probably kept in the dark about the true purpose of this place. Maybe. I wonder what this place is actually for. The further underground we go, the more surprises we find. I didn't even know this room was here. On our journey here, I was filled with an inexplicable sense of elation to see vegetables other than carrots being cultivated. Why? It near brought a tear to my eye. Oh, he got tired of the carrots. We must be close to the Central Circuit, which is where Charlene's greatest secrets are held, if the tones I perused told the whole story. The fields we passed along the way brought back memories of Farndale. Unfortunately, we were never blessed with such abundant crops. Yep, Alpha, no. There we go. We are to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here, being Logiscon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Water is drawn from the underground and dispersed as vapor, simulating the formation of the artificial clouds in rain. By manipulating the temperature in air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. That's very advanced tech right there. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with grandfather. The night before, I've been asking father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. 'Tis all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inard to the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the labyrinths in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such possessions in a new light. Oh, thanks for the follow, Terry Make Stuff. I appreciate that very much. Welcome. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prism forged to contain the ancient zodiac, the habitations built for all mankind neath the moon surface, each unique yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Oh, there he is. Ever since Heidelin unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Aetheres, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparations for the great exodus. But that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on the distant stars. Though the Labyrinths have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none to thrive, where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the Central Circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions, and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. Oh, cool. We will prove ourselves worthy of their trust. Your trust. I appreciate that, man. Then let us proceed. Hey, Alphino did my little thing. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. By decree of the Forum, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are permitted to enter the Central Circuit. Well, let's go. Oh gosh. Every time. So much dialogue. Okay, let's go. We might finally have a chance to commune directly with Heidelin, provided we somehow manage to succeed here, where Charlian's finest engineers have failed. Still, it won't hurt to look. Yeah, true. This is it, the central unit. We finally made it down. The sooner we can get a look at this ether burner of theirs, the sooner we can start working out how to improve it. Yep. The temperate environment here is not unlike that of a best ways borrowed, though the diverse vegetation doth produce a far more complex banquet of aromas. A welcome difference indeed, for I have grown weary of the scent of carrots. He's still talking about carrots. I imagine the secrets kept here would be great benefit to my own research, but I will refrain from indulging my curiosity for the time being. Yeah, maybe later. I have no idea what makes Alphino so confident we can solve this problem of theirs. Relentless optimism, I presume. A not unwelcome trait in a youth, but less so in a gambler. Aye, let us resolve never to let him set foot in the gold saucer. Really? I would have never expected him to say that. The further down we travel, the more expansive the sky above becomes, artificial though it is. Would that the heavens elsewhere could be so idealistic. Yeah? Please tell me we're almost there. Or is there another underground level we have to reach? The even more central circuit, perhaps? I sure hope not. Alright, let's go. The ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work of Koda Danki, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars this way. Okay. Look at that area. I wonder what that place is. Maybe we're gonna... Wait, maybe the Ark is down there? Possibly. Okay. Well, you know what? We might as well attune to this while we're at it as well. I'm sure we'll probably get here at some point, but right now I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this while I'm trying to grab this ether current. 166. Okay, I'll talk to all of you in just a moment. Let me grab this ether current. It's right over here. Okay, we got a lot of reading to do, so let's start from the back. While many of the facilities within the central circuit seem to be visible from the upper levels, the more secretive work must be carried out behind closed doors. Yeah, I think so. I was expecting the Sky Steel manufactory, but instead I find a village smithery. Oh, I was not expecting that, but okay. Surely the Forum had already petitioned the aid of the Lappers given their familiarity with such technologies. Yeah, I thought they probably could. For a closely guarded secret, you can see particularly everything from outside, even with the magical barrier surrounding it. I guess. He hasn't even realized we're here, or perhaps he has realized, but just doesn't care. Oh, they're talking about that guy. I was like, who are they talking about? Is he talking to himself? I don't know, Alize. He looks lost in thought, although it seems he's hit something on a stumbled block. What? Perhaps you'd like to break the ice? I guess, sure. I mean, I don't see why none of you guys could try it. This is the man we seek. Do try not to startle him. Or I can stand right in front of him and see if I can get his attention.
Could swap them out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows.
What?
Think, Coco, think! we'd be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think.
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, masterful, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already, are we?
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
Okay, Fortunal, daggone.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you, the ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding.
Okay.
Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient.
6%? That doesn't seem like a lot.
A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Hast thou consulted with the Loperids?
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The moon's propulsion systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
What?
Yes, exactly! Damn it all, I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
Oh.
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Aye, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ins like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the Northern Empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
It's interesting that his voice keeps going from high, deep, high, deep.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
You want me to go and fetch those wood sits? That sounds like a job for someone else. No, I think we can take care of it.
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
Yeah, kinda.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea alone, so handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option. Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously... Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours.
What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
Oh, Heavensward reference.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the Twelveswood expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists, or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad.
Oh, of course, we've been all over the world.
Anyway, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Combine a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
Okay, so what could that possibly be in the Far Eastern area?
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm.
In the
Might
orchard?
you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking, and I'm a born plunderer.
Of course,
I'll
this
be an
guy.
old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Aye, just like that. Our refined adamantite is on its way. Now let us consider our next steps, shall we? There's yet much to be done.
Well, a good excuse for us to not be able to do a bunch of fetch quests. Come on, Fortuno, you know you love it. We're getting stuff done. Oh boy. Sure. Appreciate you doing all this, but I ain't getting me hopes up just yet. Okay. There are no oaths or contracts binding the members of the Ishbar contingent, and in many ways, it was even more loosely organized than the Crystal Braves. Nevertheless, I knew none would refuse this call to arms. Truly, we have been blessed with trustworthy and dependable allies. Right, it's so interesting seeing how far it has gone. From Alphino having the Crystal Braves and no one was listening to him, to now, like, everyone's like, oh, Alphino, yeah, we'll do anything for you, buddy. I love it. Time and time again, it seems that Allegan something or other are either the cause or the solution to our problems. To think the self-same materials that once launched their armada would now be used to help ferry mankind to the moon. There's a poetry in that. I can see it. Well, I'm all for relying on the power of friendship, but we're not left with the rare luxury of having nothing to do. There must be something that requires our attention. Yeah, we'll figure that out. That serendipitous irony that remnants of the Seventh Umbral Calamity would become the keys to mankind's salvation. Never more certain have I been that Master Louis Soir watched over us from the ethereal sea. Considering how much of a fuss he made at the time, I don't see why he takes every opportunity to bring it up. It was just firewood. Oh, come on, dude, calm down. First the Teleforay, and now the final days? No one can accuse the Isbar contingent of backing down from a challenge. Of course, they weren't all so committed to the cause when we first set off. But after seeing the example set by you, Alphino, and the others, the change was palpable. They couldn't help but believe. Yeah. I'm confident that even the deadliest Allegan defenses mechanisms are no match for our allies. At this rate, some of them might soon have many accomplishments to their names as a certain warrior of light. Yestola, are you challenging me to my title with some of these people? I'm just kidding. Yeah, I can see it. It's times like these we're reminded of how famous or infamous Alphino has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single Link Pearl conversation? Right, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's so good to see. As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, it'd be best to return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? As she laughs. That's for me to know and you to find out. Oh, that's an old saying. On that note, I'll leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. Alright, bye, Kryl. Meanwhile, in Yulda. Okay. Are we gonna see everybody doing stuff? I was not expecting this song to come up.
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allegan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must.
It's starting to make sense now, because if you had done the Coils of Bahamut, this is all starting to make sense now.
Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Thiergeist, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the stone torches, my son Zimberg will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade, clear the way. Lord Lolorito, I pray you take charge of the search for Allegan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults. Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it.
Okay.
The final days descend upon our world. If circumstances are truly as dire as they say, Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future. You know your duties. I, Nanamo Ulnamo, 17th in the line of Ul, bid you good luck and Godspeed.
Neat. Are we gonna see the other nations possibly? Yep, Black Shroud.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
Oh, hey, Alamigo.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While it pains me to admit it, you are right. Our deficiency so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud.
That's true.
I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
Makes sense for Lise to go back here. She must have known their ranks will be not strong
I won't
enough.
let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
Papalimo. Meanwhile, in Korthus, let me guess, something going on with Ishgard? Yeah, they're rounding up everybody. And I love seeing stuff like this.
There you are. We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already...
Yeah. Give honor to him. Come on, you better join him. That's what I like to see.
That was a roar. A dragon's roar.
Gosh, I hope he starts actually doing something. Ruby C! Okay. Our pirate friends, possibly? Yep.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honourable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid.
Oh, hey.
Is that...
Wait.
Hancock? What a surprise this is. And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
I knew it! I was like, are they all gonna come along too? Yo, that's so cool! What? Oh man, I wasn't done enjoying that. Hold on. Okay, yeah, same old stuff. But oh man, that was so good! Dude, I was enjoying that. I was hoping there was more. Alright, let me get one more Skittles gummy and then we'll continue. Alright. No problem too small. Alphino is resisting the urge to pat himself on the back. Though our friends are searching for refinement, adamantite, and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they have arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? Ha! You've already done more than enough. If I had to say though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technologies, Graha. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. Yep, that's Graha. He knows a lot more. Ha! If only Master Coco knew how right he was. While he and Graha established a rapport, why don't we help with preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to carry over favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logics of traversing the great expanse. And if nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Okay, well, let's do this. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlian's Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholar types, busying themselves prepping for the Exodus. Ha! That lot need all the help they can get. Well, then, off we go. You gonna be okay, Graha? I shall endeavor to provide Master Coco with whatever information he should require. I'll admit, without refined adamantite, I ain't got a bloody clue how else I could get to the ether burner performer any better. If you lot don't come up with the goods, we're buggered. Alright, don't worry, we'll get it taken care of. Oh, well, I already got that, so let's just teleport there. Save time. I'm trying to get as far as I can tonight. You know, I'm actually quite surprised that they keep on adding so much of this dialogue to these characters. And it's a temptation for me, because I love reading it. Did my senses deceive me? In the shadow of yon corner. One can but hope this leadeth not to the mischievous undertakings. What? What? As surprised as I was to learn of the foreign plan to send everyone to the moon, I can't imagine how the common folk must feel about it. Interesting. I don't mind a bit of heavy lifting, but I draw the line at paperwork, so much as wave a sheaf of documents at me, and I'll put my lance through it. I don't blame you, man. What a quaint little settlement this is. A shame it is a hidden underground. True. In order to protect the secrets of Central Circuit, the researchers must navigate a bewildering maze of paperwork before they are permitted to return to the surface. I suppose it's no different than any other aspect of Charlian society. We do love our bureaucracy. It's very much a mirror of the city above, which is perhaps how it came to be called Charlian Hamlet. From what I could tell, a lot of the people actually living down here, I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholar Metichin mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. Alright, well, let's go. Okay, don't give me another Mount Gok situation. I'm hoping they don't give me another Mount Gok situation. Because Mount Gok was, not the best. Like, you'll hype us up and then, it takes a long time to get there. Oh, hello, are you one of the new helpers? Working on the ether burner? Oh dear, I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I would choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in and day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I misplace a few legmids of what have you. The forum's got enough on their plate as it is. What with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when. A lot of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Fortuno and the others. Hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Helping with Ark, even with all the power Master Coco's managed to squeeze out the ether burner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we began the exodus sooner. People are dying and there will be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We've spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan and all will be well. Bam! Offering to help, that's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly a list of things we need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose on our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person, after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I have not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. Why, I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that beheaded rabbit that ran by. Well, lucky you, it is a rabbit. A beautiful one at it. And they're very interesting and funny. Hey! Living way, and growing way, and cooking way, and singing way. Oh, I was not expecting all of them here. So it appears that the Lapperts have infiltrated Charlian's most heavy guarded facility. How? I know not. I love that sound. What joy to sample the delights of Aetheres. How marvelous it is to see you again. You'll be pleased to hear I've learned much since our fascinating discussion at the Curatorium. It's all thanks to Yuri Anje, you see. He's taught me the finer points of cooking, which despite my name, I knew very little about. So many dishes, so many hard to pronounce words. Actually, I was rather hoping he'd show me how to bake an orchard loaf. They're quite popular, I hear, though it doesn't sound like it contains any flavor to speak of. Still, if it's that sort of thing your kind enjoys, I shall make enough last the whole journey. Not everyone, just keep that in mind. Creaky, I wasn't expecting to see you here. Right, Cranky, I wasn't expecting to see you here, Anthony. I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to say goodbye, and for, having those other Lapperts attack you, terrible misunderstanding that. Not to worry, though. as all have since recovered from the rather savage beating you administered. They bear you no ill will. Well, perhaps a little on account of savagery, but time heals all wounds. Must, anyways. Fancy meeting you, Anthony. Our friends in the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny toy boat, which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magic. What we're really interested in is the theories itself, though we now find ourselves in sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare, they're still not ready. I suppose we just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we were planning to do. We chanced upon Urianger and your good self. Since you're both dwindling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Won't that be fun? If you're too busy to show us the sights, we'll find other ways to keep ourselves amused. Don't you worry. Okay. Wise guides. Try as he might, Urianger cannot free himself of the labyrinths. Yeah, they love you, man. A tour of Labyrinthos, an unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities between this artificial environment and best ways burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the labyrinths acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlian collaborators. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge will risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspective. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture? What a marvelous idea! Might we begin with the great big wood set over that yonder? Ah yes, the word set. I shall leave it as explanation to Anthony. Chuckle. Oh, can we stop doing this, please? Like, seriously. Can we stop doing this? It feels like the moment before Mount Gok all over again. Where it's like, hey, we're gonna have you run around all over the place, having this very nice and hype music going for a long period of time. And you just reached the next area in that zone, which is also the first zone you went to. Yeah, this is not a popular part from what you've seen. I mean, they did the same thing as Shadowbringers, and I was hoping they wouldn't do it again here in Endwalker. And they're doing it again. Like, I was enjoying Shadowbringers a lot until it got to the Mount Gok section. I really could not like the Mount Gok section. It felt very outpaced comparing to the rest of the story. And this feels like it's doing the exact same thing, man. And I'm just like, oh no, please no. But alright, well, let's continue this on. I'm not going to do the fluff dialogue, because if they're going to have me do this again, I'm not doing the fluff dialogue. I'm just going to try to continue on as much as I could. At least you have this 20-second music loop that accompany you. You know, that was the same thing for... What was it called? Okay. Dang, I can't remember the name of it. But it was the same thing too. It was a loop of the same 20-second song over and over again. Wait, hold on. I want to hear this. Hold on. I'd rather listen to this. Okay, we're gonna go crazy listening to that too. Alright, let's turn on the good 20-second music. How could you? I thought it was nice. It's a beautiful sound and I like it. Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magic is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct an attention to its most important features? I mean, I guess. Search the apparatus for points of potential interest. Okay. So they're doing this again, too. Well, how about that? It's a little hard to see from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be for purifying water drowned up from below. Okay. I see something in there. Yeah, they're probably talking about that. Wait, what about that? Adventurous. Oh! I was not expecting that. That's interesting. Okay. Well, yeah, how about that? Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? It must be because of those cogs in that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it, too. Whee! Mushroom-like thing. That looks like the trees in Greatest Envel. Hold on, that's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom, but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced, too. Now it makes sense. That's where they store the water. Yeah, there you go. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drowned from the underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it. A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments, for its labyrinths, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that people of Etheri sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanalan are built near an oasis. Areas near waterfalls are common sites for villages as Garabania. Well, Thanalan, that's pretty much a desert area, so... Well, Garabania is kind of like that too. So, whatever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we might be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely. But it would appear they rely on it far more than we anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order. Once we calculated the average rate of consumption per individual, 8 glasses of water. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtain their water in the first place. Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for the feat during our journey through Locuscon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the labyrinths will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlian Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have a brave, untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice the many dangerous-looking creatures with big, nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe and confine of this settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think that what would have happened. Regrettably, to many of the hungry predator with a aforementioned big, nasty teeth, Lavers may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of substance. Yeah. I mean, you are bunnies. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to Logiston Alpha? No. For my part, I shall act as an escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. I guess sure, I'll do it. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. Why? If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beasties. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction war set. Alright, well, let's do it. And here's the music again. Okay. I would read you guys, but I really want to get this over with. Okay. I am quite curious what they would have said, though. Okay. Dang, I can't believe you still haven't got it. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction was as worth these horroring experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you. Yes, it is. My friends, I bid you welcome to Logiston Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray, follow me. Wait, we're going up top? Okay, please let this be it. Please let this be it. Marvelous, simply marvelous. So this is where the magic, or science, rather takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. Yeah, that's not good. You're all very lucky that Atheres just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out the way they are because of the available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. Agriculture shock. Cooking Way is eager for a change of venue, or at the very least a change of war set. This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment preservation facilities. In other words, where is the food? Okay. I believe both the knowledge and consumables you see may be found at the Merrill Ergonomics. As I imagine Singing Way and the others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully, I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Urianger was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose, descriptions cannot compare to sampling them myself. Not to mention that Atheres will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. let us book no further delay. Can't believe I'm doing more of this. Really? Yurianje, why are you making me have to go through this? Why are you making me have to go through this, man? This is the place, yes? The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I dearly love to try some, but I read that those who help themselves to a farmer's crops without permissions are often caught and put into pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever is in charge if they would be willing to part with some samples. Okay, Cooking Way is going to be following me around while we go grab some food. You know, I like this feature, but in the moment we're in right now, I really don't feel like doing this. I want to continue story stuff. Yeah, can my Cooking Way get any of your food? What a fine mess this is. Ah, it's you, the one who climbed down the mine shaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the exodus. And I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here, up there. That was a strange sentence. First on the moon, then on whichever star the Forum decides will become our new home. It's all so sudden, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us. But no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their new environment, so many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? No, not quite. So dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce, if we may. By all means, help yourself. Much appreciated, my good fellow. So, where to begin? Well, let's go ahead and, Oh, wait, it shows up on the map. Right over here. Wait, the grapes. The grapes are not that bad. Okay. Oh, I know what lies here. Grapes, yes. Let's see if they are delicious as they look. So sweet, so sour. The taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the other skin and the fruit within is most particularly though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that's certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than a philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes? Wait, I brave an erupting volcano for a choice bunch? I mean, I like grapes, but I wouldn't call it meh either. They made them less blocky in the patch. Oh yeah, that is right, they did do that. Well, even like pre-patch, when I was doing Shadowbringers, I didn't think they were that bad either. So I thought, oh, well, maybe everyone's losing their mind here. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh, I don't know. But yeah, it makes sense that they did it during the patch. Yeah, I like grapes. I like them. Yes, they are rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Excuse me. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, all I can recall. Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next treat. Are these peaches? I'm guessing they're peaches. Okay, oranges. Orange by name, orange by nature. What came first, the fruit or the color? Who cares? Let's eat. You know, I always ask that question too. Which one came first? Yes, that's Equal parts sweet and sour. As with the grapes, yet nothing alike. I may have to consult Urianger about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter? This is all very complicated, you know. So many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turn your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelous though they still are, in my estimation, let no one say I said otherwise. But speaking of carrots, I've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in this field over there. Oh, the pumpkin. Yeah, I could consider a pumpkin a vegetable. That color, that texture. Are they some sort of enormous round carrots? No? In any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the taste. Blah! It's so hard and flavorless. I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms it. These are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. Stop, stop, stop. Can't you see these are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would treat eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it. Cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it's broadening the range of ingredients that we may safely eat it. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. Then perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder though, if there is anything even more delicious. How about that yellow fruit over yonder? Yellow fruit. Oh, lemons! Oh, lemons are... Wait, are you talking about the... Yeah, the lemons. Lemons are definitely good. They should have made you give the rabbits a tour of all of ARR areas. They could have extended this section by a few hours. Oh my gosh. No. No. Dying? Don't give them ideas. No. I do not want that. Oh my god, dude. I'm so glad they didn't do that. So glad they didn't do that. If they extended this for several hours, I would have lost my mind. And Endwalker would not become the masterpiece that I think it already is. Oh man. What a wondrous fragrance. With luck, it'll have a flavor to match. As I've no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. Yeah, that... I would have reacted the same way. My tongue! Is this poison? A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How can something so similar to an orange be so revolting? Ugh. It may be some time before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I had best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others. Oh man, that's goofy. Is this poison? I can see anybody. If you eat a lemon or a lime, it is super. If you tried anything sour for the first time, and you think of it as poison, I guess I can understand. Oh my god, that's so goofy. Okay. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. I'd rather enorm with the grapes and oranges. Let's sow the pumpkin. though I learned that the hard way that they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was the lemon, the deceiver, the deceiver. I still feel so violated. Oh, first time was it? I hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one, so I give you this lemon muffin I baked. Oh, that's so nice. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to scorn this opportunity to... Oof. Bit of sick came up here, there. Learn more of your inscrutable ways. Very well, Lemon Muffin. Do your worst. Oh, we're gonna see him eating it? Not the sounds that I was expecting. This is delicious. Oh, that's hilarious. Although I still detect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good champ, this is simply breathtaking. See, we rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a starring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. That is actually true. Whenever I'm cooking something, I use lemon, and lemon is so good when you add it to many of your dishes, to anything you're trying to cook. It just gives this nice taste to it. It comes down to making the most of the resources at our disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the forum agonized over what was worth preserving and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we are to survive. Such strength of will. Now I know what Heidelin sees in your kind. Oh, interesting. Mankind. The Laperids, we were both born from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. They learn all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Didn't think we were going to get a history lesson. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it would inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. And therein lies its folly and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. 'Tis the paradox of the immaculate carrot. Carrots again. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the costs incurred in their futile quests, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect, to be content with what we have and make the most of it. When life gives you lemons, make lemon muffins. No, there you go. I mean, it's called lemonade, but there you go. Pardon my Eosian, but what in the seven hills are you on about? And who are you, anyway? Cooking Way at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many Atheres species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, this has all been highly productive, probably. Let's go and see if Yuri, Anjay, and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? Yeah, let's go. Back to the music. Alright. So all the way back there, and I can't teleport, so we're gonna have to ride it out. Please tell me this is almost over. As much as I love that one section with Cooking Way, it was a good section. I will give that. Like the section where we're taking Cooking Way around, sampling a lot of the food and all that. It was pretty nice and hilarious. But at the same time, I'm hoping this doesn't go on too much longer. That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know of any other places famed for their cuisine? Oh my gosh. Oodles and noodles makes me want to have some ramen myself. Oh yeah, Lenza La Menza. They have a guild for culinarians. I won't spoil you on how much torment remains. I kinda want a lemon muffin now. Well, I appreciate the spoiler. Not the spoiler, but not spoiling. But yeah, the lemon muffins do sound pretty good. I would like to have one. With that, I had time to visit. The more I learned of Atheres, the more I wished we could spare it from the final days. Alas, Heidelin's orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was some other way. I'm sure we'll find a way. Okay, Sage Conceal. Oh, Council. Does that mean I gotta turn to my Sage? Yuri Anjay appears to be tally the labyrinths and preparations for the imminent departure. Anthony, I trust thy time at Moral Ergonomics did bear fruit. Our own efforts, too, were rewarded. We now possess an embarrassment of educational riches. No doubt our guests' relentless pursuit of knowledge could occupy them, and thus for their fortnight, alas, time is of the essence. Let us return to Charlene's hamlet forthwith. I shall gladly attend to each and every labyrinth there, should further questions within my power to answer arise. Growing weight, you're okay? I was not expecting Growing weight to feel that way. Alright. My expectations are high now. What's the matter? Yes, Anthony, that was indeed my verbalizing a sigh to express my emotional state. Do you want to know why? Because I saw the reconstructed environmental data for Atheres at the Logiscon Alpha, that's why. A forest so lovely and so leafy. Are all your forests like this? The Black Shroud is quite leafy indeed. A place of utmost tranquility. Oh, the trees of Gervania. Oh, the forest of the first would be very pretty. One was purple. Interesting. I'm gonna have to give it to the Black Shroud. It's more forest-like than any other one. Gasp! Gasp! I say. What a start to so wonderful. It comes as no surprise that you're reluctant to leave it behind. I was a fool to think otherwise, to assume that the moon was something worth being proud of. How ridiculous we must seem to you, trying so hard yet achieving so little. Not at all. Thy works are no less worthy for their uniqueness. I thought I heard tiny voices. Oh, Thancred. Thinkard. How did thou fare? Oh, I was able to glean a fair bit from the researchers while helping to move their cargo. So much reading. Preparations have proceeded with interruptions here, despite news of the coming in. We have the forum's leadership to thank for that. That doesn't mean people aren't worried, though. Quite the opposite. Knowing disaster could strike at any moment, they hurried to complete their work, equally aware that the single error could be the difference between life and death, and we can hardly tell them there is no cause for concern. Perhaps not. Though aided by our goodly growing way, we may yet find other ways to lighten their burden. Me? But used to people? I'm honored that you would think me so capable, but I'm not sure that I'm up to the challenge. Nevertheless, I believe in thee. If you say so, I suppose it can't hurt to try. I passed someone mopping in the western plaza that looked to be in need of a helping paw. Perhaps you might start with him. Moping. It's as good as a place as any. Come. Okay. You best go with them. I don't think Urianger misjudged him, but Gronway does look like he could use some emotional support. I still have work to complete elsewhere. I trust that I won't return to find any labyrinths and tears. Yeah, hopefully not. Oh, can I help you? It is you who would help me. Is my anxiety truly so obvious? A burden shared is a burden eased. Pray, tell us of thy troubles. Those little fellows do look like good listeners. I'm an engineer, you see, and what they say of the ship, that is the sum of decades of Charlian ingenuity, that it's built with pureless, elegant technology, is all true, but I know, that none of that is guaranteed. We've never before launched a starfaring vessel, let alone flown it in the great expense. All the tests we've run have been on the ground. Only operational personnel and cargo will be aboard for the first voyage, but even so, if it fails us then, what can we do? And if it doesn't, it could fall apart on the next flight, or the one after that. And it starts raining, of course, during this moment. We've done everything we can to prevent that from happening, but it hardly matters. We thought that the ether burner design was flawless too, and look how that turned out. Thou aren't familiar with these most daunting technologies, and dost thou though hold the power to allay his fears? Oh, I'm not sure about that, but well, maybe you could tell me if there are any aspects of the ship design that you especially worried about. Our ability to walk about and perform our tasks, for one. I've devised a means by which to employ gravity, a terminal spell to regulate the environment, but what if it's not strong enough? What if everyone floats away and begins crashing into things as soon as we left the star? Aha! Gravitation. Maybe I can be a help after all. Up there is not so different from down here. You see? The same rules apply. And if you consider them as part of one great big cosmos rather than separate places... Oh, look at them. Now they're going out. I suspect both parties shall find comfort in this conversation. Which means... Yet, if Thancred's tale be true, still others would benefit from insights born of experience. Might it prevail upon the Lapras to attend them? An excellent idea, if I do say so myself. There is naught we like more than to ease the hearts of the fine people of Atheres, and learn more about them while we're at it. Full glad I am to hear it. Gather thy companions and bring them hither. Anthony, thou hast a gift for finding souls in need of succor. Pray seek thee out the distressed and apprehensive, and inform them that help is at hand. I shall await them here, that I might introduce each to a suitable Lapper. Oh, I do so look forward to that. A place for every Laprid and every Laprid and their place. Oh man, alright, here we go, once again. This is the worst quest. It feels like it. And to be honest, a lot of the reading for this is not very interesting, and it sucks because it's a huge area, and for me trying to read all this stuff, it's a little bit not very good. They could prepare me for this monumental task. Big area and not all the people count. Yeah. See, you're right there with me on that one. Yeah, it's just that, it hasn't been very good. Like, when I was reading all of that dialogue for them to find out what the Lappets are gonna be doing, I was just thinking to myself, like, there could have been some other means to do this. Like, maybe they were trying to find like some point of time to keep us occupied and make it seem like, oh, time is going by while we're waiting for everyone to gather all the materials and stuff. It is the same way whenever we were in Yulmore trying to get everyone together to build the Talos, and we were just trying to waste some time by doing a bunch of other stuff that wasn't very fun, to be honest. I feel like there should be some other method of what we could do for that meantime. Like, maybe have it to where we're doing something else a little bit more entertaining wise. I don't know, that's just my opinion. But apparently from what you're saying, this is not very popular section. In my opinion, I'm over here thinking about you guys as well. Like, while I do some of these things, I'm thinking about, okay, am I being entertaining enough for everybody? And having to do something like this, it's not very entertaining to watch. I know that for a fact, just for myself. What? This one is better than you are. Okay. I only found 2? Oh man. Yeah, I hope you don't mind that I read this to myself right now. I'm not gonna read many of these out loud because it's a lot. And apparently, even though I've talked to so many people already, it's not counting up there at the top. You've read it all already, yeah. Yeah, I think I'll just read these to myself. Huh? Yeah, usually I read out loud for people who are just watching in the background, who are only like wanting to see certain parts. And all that. So I read out loud so everybody just, you know, if you're playing a game or maybe working on something, and you want something in the background, that's why I read out loud. Hey, cool. She's over here counting her weed. She had a song with it too, strangely enough. By the gods, my chest! I'm dying! Is this what dying's like? Oh, do pardon me. I didn't see you there. There is no cause for concern, I assure you. Oh yeah, I do remember there were several people saying they wanted to meet these labyrinths because they were very curious of them. You could at least sung his song for us? Oh, I'm sorry. I probably could have. My face? What's wrong with my... Ow! Perhaps I a bit tense. Okay, man. Wow. It's like, unless your friends know exactly where I dropped my daggone envelope, then yeah, sure, help me out. I'm like, oh, okay, man, calm down. Okay, that's all of them. Now let's go ahead and head back to Urianger. Funny enough, I kind of already have an idea of what I can do for this section whenever I start putting it up on YouTube for everybody else to watch. I think I'm gonna just speed it up. Put it on like 10 times speed or something. Whoa, look at all those people talking to him. Behold, Anthony, through thy efforts, word has spread throughout Labyrinthos. Verily, to a far greater number than we anticipated. Livingway doth gather more labyrinths as we speak. I shall assign each in accordance with their skills, that new bonds of friendship might be forged. Should greater matters require not thy attentions, watch over them, I pray thee. Okay. Oh. Make them suffer like I have, half the speed. Oh man. Put it at like 0.25 speed. Ultra slow. My guys, it looked like he's like slow walking to every section. Oh gosh. I mean, I feel like if people have already played themselves, they probably already suffered enough. Would you look at that? It's raining and they're even still out here trying to take their chance of learning with one another. Isn't that wonderful?
Phew! Oh, finally some rest. Why, I haven't spoken so much in, well, in forever.
Well, you telling me. That was a lot of reading to do there.
Lively, isn't it? The town is abuzz. Everyone eager to meet with our friends from the moon.
Twould behoove you to consult with Sleepingway. As our moon's pilot, his advice should be most pertinent.
As he's asleep.
I'm impressed. Truth be told, I struggle to tell one from another. No offense intended, of course.
None taken. After you and your friends left Mare Elementorum, we spent no small amount of time with your Urianger. Oh, the conversations we had. He told us all about Atheris, answered our every question, no matter how trifling or trivial. Look! Every page filled to the margins with knowledge.
The rain's gonna get it wet. You may want to put that away.
When I first arrived, I was struck by how little I knew. It was daunting. But then I realized that were it not for Urianger and his teachings, we'd still be stuck on the moon, gazing at your world and wondering what we've been missing.
What would they think if they could see Urianger now? I dare say they'd be more than a bit surprised. And impressed, no doubt. Master Louis Soir, Minfilia, Papalimo, and not to forget...
Moodbreeder.
Oh there. Heard there was a visiting expert who we might bother with a few questions. I take it you'd be the one.
Yeah, yes, I am.
Is that who I think it is?
Wilson and Blovida, Sharlayan's foremost researchers in the field of teleportation magic, and Moonbreeder's parents.
I knew it.
It hath been some time. 'Tis good to see you in good health.
Likewise, old friend. Blovida and I were most honored to answer the call. Never expected this reunion, though, did we, dear?
Alfei, the nerve. Sending that letter, then running off to the gods know where.
Aww.
Do you have any idea how worried we were?
I'm sorry. 'Twas remiss of me not to deliver the news in person. No, more than that. 'Twas I who...
Our daughter was disillusioned after Master Louisoix left her behind. The day the Scions called upon her was the happiest I'd seen her in years. She made her every choice of her own free will. No one could have ever forced her to do otherwise.
Man, I miss her, dude. She was such a good character.
Don't blame yourself for her death. Celebrate her life. You know that's what she'd want.
If there is one thing we resent you for, it was that we could not be there to mourn her with you.
Dang, y'all making me tear up here, y'all.
Reading the words you penned in that shaky hand, we must have cried as much for you as we did for her.
I'm sorry. I truly, truly am. I knew not what to say. Knew not how to express my feelings. The poems and platitudes of wiser men, musings on sadness and loss, studied and memorized, and meaningless in the moment.
Silly boy. We are all powerless before such grief. Even now, try as I might, the words escape me. But in our hearts, we know, we always know.
I remember when you were young, how the lads teased you for choosing the company of books over others. Our moon didn't take kindly to that. Be nice to Urianger, she'd shout, and give them a walloping. No matter how many times we scolded her.
So we offered a suggestion. Rather than starting fights, why don't you be the bridge between Urianger and the others? She had to mull it over for a while. Arms crossed, brow furrowed in intense thought. But from that day on, she never let you be alone. She'd drag you outside to play, pepper you with endless questions, read the same books you read, all to try and understand you that much better.
That's a really big crush, man.
I'm sure it was annoying and exhausting at the time, but she only ever had the best of intentions.
We know that.
And look at you now, at the center of the crowd. The reason there even is a crowd, having brought these people together. You've no idea how proud we are.
To see the boy our daughter trusted and believed in more than anyone grow into the man she always knew he could be. I can see her in you too. Feel her. She walks with you wheresoever you go. So thank you, Urianger, for being who you are.
I think I can feel her too. The truth of her life. Not sorrow, but hope and love.
What's with that Lapras over there?
This moon breeder. She was important to him, wasn't she?
Definitely.
You could ask the man himself.
Oh, no. But watching this exchange reminds me how much I've yet to learn about your world. And its people.
You can live here your entire life and hardly learn a thing. And that's why it's too soon for this to end.
Let them know I was the one who gathered the crowd. No, I can't take Urianger's moment away like that. I can't do that. Oh no. Wait, Heidelin gave them waterproof tech. Oh, for the book? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. And of course it stops raining now. What the heck? Okay, remind me to invite Urianger for a drink when we have a moment to breathe. We're long overdue for one. We can raise a glass to Moon Breeder. Yeah. I was so busy asking questions about Aetherius that I never thought about asking more about Urianger. I'd like to, but where would I begin? Oh, you must be one of the Scions, correct? Yep. Thank you for caring for my daughter. The time she spent with you was all too short, but I know she was proud to have you as a comrade. Urianger is too, I'm sure, and I'm certain to feel better for knowing he has good friends to look after him. See that he comes home from time to time, will you? Yeah, I'll try my best. The classical Ragadan language isn't so different from Eosian. Did you ever wonder why we named our daughter Moonbride? Oh! I never thought of that. When I first held her, the moon was shining silver and full. The whole world seemed aglow. I knew it had chosen her, that she would be a beacon of that self-same light. Of course, we'd later hear our fair share of jokes about how we ought to have gone for her son instead, with how bright and stubborn she was. But Fury, as my moon Brita was, she was always kind and gentle. You know, that makes sense. I didn't even think of her name as being Moon or Bride. Urianger, you were meant to marry her, man. Just saying. Oh, Anthony, be assured that I am fine. I am. Feel glad to see them too. After so very long, gladder is still that it was your company. As difficult as it was to accept their kindness, it would have been far harder had I faced them alone. Well, that's why we're here, man. Okay, Heather and Yarns. The pall of anxiety over Charlene's Hamlet has thinned to more manageable levels. Though has my gratitude for lending courage to the Lapras. not disposed to rest on their laurels, several of our guests have elected to accompany my countrymen to their stations. Some few may still come hither seeking counsel, and so I shall remain to aid them as needed be. If thou art needed elsewhere, do not let me detain thee. As a matter of fact, I was hoping you might check on Alize. Last I saw, she was struggling to carry an enormous pile of boxes out the west gate. I could go myself, but we both know whose help she likes less like to scorn. Not to mention that, much to my misfortune, I can think of several other things I ought to be doing. Until later. Oh, okay. Alright, well, take it easy. I'll see y'all guys later. Alright, let's see if we can help Alize with these boxes. Anthony, what are you doing out here? Squill, squill. Is there something in that box? No, I don't mind if you help with the boxes, but it's far from the most exciting of tasks. Are you sure? Yeah, sure, I don't mind helping you. Well, I appreciate the assistance. We need to get these to Alphoria. Time is short, of course, but they're full of organic specimen and samples, so try not to be too rough with them. Alphino should be waiting for us when we arrive. I'll see you there. Deliver the crates. Okay. Strange, they got animals in this thing. Okay, I got 3 minutes to rush over there. Oh, you're helping with the crates? Wonderful. You can put that there with the others. You have my gratitude, but how did you come to be involved in this? Your sister? Huh, then I suppose I have Thinker to thank as well. If you're wondering why we were tasked with bringing these boxes to Euphoria to begin with, so was I. It turns out that this is a base of operations of sorts, so those with final say as to what is included in the ship's manifest can be found here. Okay. Father included, I suspect. The heck is in those boxes? That should be everything. You carried all of that at once? Are you trying to injure yourself? Oh, hush. They're lighter than they look. And not everyone has your delicate arms. Oh, I suppose we should let someone know that we finished. Theo Paladin is in the courtyard. We can report to him. Why don't you come along? You should get credit for your assistance at least. Considering where we are, we might even learn something interesting. Maybe. That's your sister, alright. Like, looking back at that, I'm kinda happy about it, but I wish it was shortened down a little bit more. Oh, we finally made it to the other side here. Alright, well, I could probably find this last ether current. Alize? This must be Theo Palin? I keep thinking that I've seen him elsewhere, but I cannot for the life of me remember when. Gods, it never ends, does it? What can I do for you? We've brought samples from Charlie and Hamlet, Series 110. The crates are by the entrance. Ah, thank you. I'd expected one of my colleagues, but we are dreadfully short-handed. Just a moment. Are you Fortuno's children? Are you not? Alphino and Alize at your service. You're well acquainted with Father, I take it? Quite. I've been friends with your parents since our days at the studium. And it's raining again. I remember when you were yay high, whittling hither and thither. Clearly, it's been quite some time since we've met. 'Tis good to see you again, wielding your father's nolus, no less. You know our parents when they were young? What were they like? pray spare no detail. I should like nothing more than to regale you. Alas, I am meant to be in charge here, and reams of paperwork want for submission. We can help with that. In exchange for the sort of stories our parents would never willingly divulge of course. Very well then. There happen to be 3 sets of documents in need of delivery. So how about you each take one? Wait, right there. Okay. You will find a forum's representatives waiting to collect these near the southernmost structure. I hope I haven't kept her waiting too long. Never mind. Alphino and Alize, I'm certain they will be back soon enough. Alright, well, let's deliver this wherever it needs to be. Are you not one of the Scions of the 7th Dawn? I thought you were meant to be working on the ether burner. Yeah, we're working on that. Somewhat. Theo Pallet, paperwork. I was beginning to worry he had misplaced his quill. I appreciate your help in seeing these documents to my hands at least. As for your other tasks, pray keep this between us, but I sincerely hope you Scions succeed. The Exodus is, without a doubt, the most monumental undertaking in the history of the Forum, and so we must be circumspect in all respects. Risk is a privilege we cannot afford ourselves. At its heart, however, Sharlayan has ever been a nation of curious. Would be a tragedy indeed if we were the ones who submine your pursuit of truth. I don't think I've ever seen that word before, but okay. Quick and efficient. I dare say you have a talent for this work. The twins' papers only needed to be delivered to elsewhere in the vicinity, so they should be returned at any moment. We return with not a scrap of paper remaining on our persons. You will note. You both have my thanks, and my apologies for sending you on an errand far below your ambitions. Why, even as a babe, you struggled out of your swindling clothes, and this is quite enough of that, thank you. It was compromising stories of our parents that we asked to hear, to reiterate. That's right. Alize doesn't like having any detail about her or her past in front of me being told. Of course. I've known your father for so long. I must have something... Well, as you know, part of why the Liviere... Yeah, I was trying to remember how to say it. Liviere name garners such respect, and Sharlayan is your family's storied history. You two can trace your ancestry directly to those who came aboard Ninkep's Hope, a lineage few can claim. I've never thought much of it myself. It's not as though our forebears founded our nation. They were simply there when it happened. Nevertheless, it has traditionally been a point of pride. 'Tis why Ninkep's pronouncement renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason has ever been our family's creed. Until your grandfather's time, Archon Louisoix, looked not to Ninkep's words, but his deeds. He asserted in defiance of his peers that choosing to save the great and the small from the rising tides was a true mark of our founder's virtue. Perhaps it was his expertise, his knowledge of ancient philosophy or prophecy and the fall of civilization that led to him to conclude that to eschew conflict at every turn was to consign mankind to his doom. There will ever be conflict and calamity will follow. Thus, to ignore the plight of those who one might conceivable save is not wisdom, it is indolence. You remember his words well, indeed. Archon Louisoix lived by that personal creed and used every means at his disposal to bring succor to those in need, Charlian or no. No, one loved and admired your grandfather more than his son. Yet, Fortuno could not reconcile Louisoix's deeds with the philosophy of their forebears and his peers, a philosophy in which he believed so vehemently, yet made a pariah of his father. Fortuno agonized over this contradiction for much of his life. God's father. A son may carry his father's blood, but his choices are his own to bear. Is it not always thus? Gods know, Fortuno cranky old goats, so I'm sure you butt heads often enough. Yet even so, you must know that you are constantly in his thoughts, every moment of every day, and that is not an exaggeration in the slightest. You should have seen him when you were born. Barely recognizable, he was kind of dumbfounded grin I've not seen since the first took a fancy to your mother. He was practically skipping when he told me the news. I actually saw a picture on Twitter. I think it was like a fan art, but it showed like a picture of Fortuno, and I forgot how to say their name of their mother. And it showed Alize and Alphino as babies. And it showed Fortuno with a very happy face. And I was like, oh, that's so nice. I wish I could actually see something like that in game. Take my word for it. He loves you to an embarrassing degree. Yeah, we know. But he is also frustratingly single-minded. Once he decided that a given action is for the best, he will stay to the course no matter who or what opposes him. A profoundly annoying habit when you're on the other end of it, as I'm sure you will agree. I'll say. Thank you for your insight. When next we meet our parents, I shall mention that we spoke. Try not to get me into too much trouble now. I need the forum on my side. Okay. Speaking of which, I ought to be getting back to work. I have to make sure that those specimens you brought make it to their proper places, or the cranky old goat will have my hide. We can speak again later. Yeah. Hail, you three. Oh, I was just thinking about Graha, too. Graha, surely Coco hasn't driven you out of Forge already. For better or for worse, no. However, he has set me on a task that requires more than a single pair of hands, and here you are. I could use at least one of you, but I won't object to more. Unfortunately, Alize and I have prior commitments, and have delayed too long as it is. What about you, Anthony? Can you spare the time? Yeah, sure. I got nothing else going on right now. Perfect. This shouldn't take long. Okay. Much as I like to press telephone... I'm gonna just call him Theo. Theo, for more revealing tidbits, we should be getting back to our task. It's strange to hear Father spoken of such a way, but I suppose he would find your view of me no less odd. Yeah. Once forged, a specific task awaits you. Okay. In the events that are, and I quote, promised heap of adamantite falls right out of the bloody sky and into my lap, Master Coco wishes to be ready to put the preferable hammer to anvil at the moment notice. To fabricate these parts, however, he needs the flames of Coco Forge to burn hotter. He set me to increase the amount of ether being funneled to his furnaces. The flow of fire aspect ether in Labyrinthos is regulated by an elemental reactor south of here, to which I have borrowed the key. The adjustments will require 2 people to carry out safely, but I can explain the process when we arrive. This is where we part ways then. Wait, is my chocobo all on top of Alizé? I'll see you in Charlene Hamlet once the adamantite arrives, if not before. Cool, let's get this over with. This way then. Okay, not too far off. The reactor is housed within this facility. I'll be the one to go inside and adjust the fire ether output. When I do, a rather large amount of water aspected ether will issue from the vent at the top. I expect this to attract at least a few elementals, which we would both rather not be drawn into the reactor itself. Trust me. Can I ask that you put down any of that draw too near? They'll pose you little trouble, I'm sure. Alright, if it's some fighting, sure, I can do that. Wait here, if you would. Oh! Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, so I regret getting to the big points. Okay. But I like the big points. Alright, here's our first enemy. There we go. Oh, that's it? That's all the fighting? Oh, that was easy. Did everything go smoothly out here? Yep, all is good. I thought as much. No major complications to speak of inside either. And the water ether appears to be venting properly. I expect Coco will have seen a difference in his forge flames by the time I return. Since I have you, there was another matter I thought to discuss with you. Nothing terribly important, merely something I've been considering. Part of this I shared with everyone, yet you, and only you, have been to Elpis. Do you know something of it? As we have established, refined adamantite is a product of Aleg, of the Empire's twilight years in fact. It was a material which saw much use as part of the Allegan efforts to extend beyond the bounds of this world, Dalamud, of course, being the most prominent. Of those who could, or would push further, expand Aleg's empire to encompass the heavens and the stars above. Perhaps the greatest was its infamous technologies, Amon. Oh. Amon wanted to travel the Sea of Stars. Did he remember his life as Hermes? I believe he had his own reasons. There is no evidence to suggest that he retained memories of his former life. He only joined the Ascians once the Empire was all but dust, as you know. If not his memory, though, what drove him to pursue the idea with such fervor? This may seem far-fetched, but what if souls, like minds, have a personality, so to speak, a natural disposition towards which they are inclined? We know with relative certainty that it was the gross decadence and inexorable decline of Aleg that moved Amon to resurrect Emperor Zand. The Empire's people spoke lightly of death and destruction, experimenting on those they deemed beneath them to fill the emptiness in their hearts. In facilitating Zan's return, Amon provided these Legio souls with the means to free themselves from the mire of their own indolence. Or would have, had not Zan been convinced by his own death that life itself was meaningless. Amon's desire for his countrymen to conquer the heavens could only be a means to the same end, to instill the people with new purpose. Like Hermes, before him, Amon was appalled by how those around him lived, but could never bring himself to believe that those lives were devoid of meaning. And both of them sought that meaning, that hope in the distant stars. Such is my theory anyway. Ultimately, it is the consequence of their actions which matter, their motives of no matter, and yet, to reach those stars on wings of adamantite, to travel to the end of creation and beyond, the promise of hope and everlasting, that much I do understand. But enough musing for now. Why don't we see how Coco is getting on? Interesting theory, Graha. Very interesting theory.